Let's build this cozy cottage in The Sims. So, starting out, I took inspiration from Thomas Kinkade. And Thomas Kinkade paints with a lot of flowers. And I find that very inspirational. There's like a fairy garden set, and it was like a set of three houses. And I plan on doing all three of them. So, this is one of them. And as you can see next door, maybe a little bit, that's kind of like the vibe that I'm going for with this entire neighborhood of houses. So I'm going to spend a lot of time placing flowers and grass and trees and not too much time on the inside. I mean, it took me forever to find windows. You can see me just scrolling forever, and I changed them eventually. And even with the roof, I struggled a lot because the roof in the inspiration photo I was taking has like straw, and I know everything that I'm missing in this build is in the cottage living kit, but I just can't justify spending money on furniture that is digital. Spending money on digital furniture. Can you, would he do it? Won't he fucking do it? I mean, come on. I'm not gonna let somebody influence me to spend $30 on a game just so I can have a roof that doesn't look like shit. I don't mind having a roof that looks like shit in a game when I don't mind having a roof that looks like shit in real life. So, I don't know, maybe it's just my Minecraft mindset. I've been playing Minecraft since I was like 12, but you know, they don't have like shutters or like, I don't know, dinner tables. So you have to be creative. You have to use barrels in the walls as shutters. You have to use upside down stairs to create a side table. So I feel like you can do the same thing in The Sims, especially when they have all these things. I haven't bought a single pack, and I have like there's so many fences and stuff. I was shocked by how much stuff there was. So I really hope by me building everything and with all the base game that it shows people that you don't need to buy packs. Just make do with what you got and make it look good. You just have to take your time. But, anyways, I want to talk more about who this house is inspired by. So, I'm actually going to create a sim later, and her name is Miss Cherry Love. She's inspired by my old bus driver that I had as a kid. She was really mean. I remember every day when we got off the bus, she would like drop us off right in front of our house, and she would like go knock on the door and like complain to my mom about us being loud and yada yada yada. So yeah, this is just paying homage to Miss Cherry Love, and we couldn't call her Miss Cherry or Miss Love. It was Miss Cherry Love. Get it right or say it twice. But I imagine Miss Cherry is best friends with her neighbor, Miss Barbara. You know, they gossip about all the neighborhood women. They go on walks together. They share the same man. I don't know. But I gave Miss Cherry a single bed because she's single and she knows it. So she's keeping that bed. So with this house, I ended up just keeping it a simple rectangle. I wanted all of the detail to be in the yard. I spent a lot of time layering a bunch of flowers, sizing some down, sizing some up, and then, using the bracket keys to raise some up higher than others, just to make it look like I had different flowers than I do have. Because there's only so many flowers that the base game has. I mean, there is a huge variety. Don't get me wrong, but for the colors I wanted to go for, I wanted there to be a lot of like pinks and purples. And they're just, I mean, there's a lot of those things, but they weren't like all in the same color family. And I do plan on adding more to the landscaping. So just trust the process. I'm going to come back to it. I just don't have a great idea in my head yet. Ooh, and one of the pieces that I saw that was part of this set was like an archway, and it had like it was like a stone wall with flowers on it. So I did my best to recreate that, and I didn't realize until the near the end of this build that it was supposed to be an archway and not just a half wall like that. But I placed all of those bushes and all of those flowers like one by one, and I was not building it again. I was like, this is gonna do, and it's gonna do, and that's all I'm gonna do. But another cool thing that I added was there was a chicken sculpture that I just sized down and I moved it onto the roof, and it looks like it's one of those like chicken sculptures that old people like to have on their roofs. And I just thought it was very fitting for the neighborhood. But I'm going to finish up the landscaping and I'll meet you in the interior. Moving into the kitchen, I'm keeping in mind that this is a retirement home. And I don't know about your grandparents, but my grandparents lived off of Schwann's and coffee. If you don't know what Schwann's is like an old person's ice cream truck. Like I'm not even kidding. They wait around and wait for that big yellow truck to pull up, and they're like, "Finally, dinner is served." I'm just saying that off of experience, but basically, this neighborhood is for all the old ladies. They love their blue, especially their blue eyeshadow. So I thought, why not make this one a little bit blue? You know, I found this cute single bed with the blue on it. And of course, I just put all the necessities in here. But with this floor plan, there wasn't much space for much but two side chairs. And the only walls in here are the walls to the bathroom, which I think it's still pretty realistic because old people don't need much. And this is actually not too far off from how my grandmother lived in her retirement home. So I think Miss Cherry Love is gonna love this. But as you can see right now, I'm just going in and adding some more clutter pieces, filling out the walls and floors a little bit with some rugs. But I think the Schwann's thing was very important to bring up because that's why I didn't clutter up that much, especially in the kitchens. Like in the kitchens, I'll throw some spoons in there, but we all know they're not going to be using them. Like, let's just be honest. Old people don't have that much stuff, and they're here for a good time, not for a long time. But when I do buildings in The Sims, I like to do the windows on the front, and then after I finish the layout, then I'll add any additional windows at the end, just because it makes it easier to lay out your furniture that way, I feel like. I mean, your houses do usually end up coming out uglier because the windows aren't spaced out. But, you know, I don't care about how the house looks on the outside. That's what the flowers are for. But I'm just adding some finishing touches to the inside. I liked these bamboo curtains because they matched like the countertop on that dresser. And then I just went in with this dark, kind of moody wallpaper. And now that I'm looking at it, I kind of hate it. But when I was doing it, I loved it. And especially since it matched these tiles. I love the bathroom tiles. I just don't love the wallpaper. But I'm not going to change it now. Ooh, and Miss Cherry Love must have her record player. She loves her classical music. None of that rap garbage. Ooh, and I loved these sunflower pots because I only put like 3 or 4 sunflowers out in the front yard. So I'm assuming maybe Miss Love picked these sunflowers this morning, so that's why the front yard is barren of them. I just thought that was very cute. And I think the interior came out perfect on this one. It's small, but she's got a TV, she's got all the plants she could ever want. She has places to sit, and if she has friends over, there's a table outside she can sit at. She's got her dresser, she's got this hanger. She's living good. And I found this beautiful window, and it's only a little different from the other ones because there's like this round arch inside of it. And I just draped it off and added this cute little wall sconce on the side. I love that wall sconce. Even though there's a lamp right there, I feel like it needed more light that was like warmer and moodier. And I just think that one was perfect. And above the TV, I felt like the wall was missing something. So I think these are like the half tile kitchen cabinets that I just stuck up there. And then I threw some stacked books and this cute little duck. This is like my favorite shelf item, and I don't use it. But that's pretty much all I did on the interior. Now I'm just sticking some lights outside and some stairs. And I really struggled finding a vision for the outside of this because there was only like, I'm basing this off of like a sculpture, not off of an actual picture. So it was really hard to visualize like what I wanted, where I wanted things to go. All I knew was I wanted a grill and I wanted a picnic table. So I kind of just like stuck this table down and the grill down just so that I had it in my mind what I wanted. And then I realized that this was supposed to be an arch. So I started trying to fix it. And then that light pole didn't make sense to me either because there's one right next door. And there's also one like right on the edge of my lot. So I just deleted that light post, added some lights onto this wall, and I think it looks way better this way. And then since there's not any like signs that say house numbers on them, I found this outdoor sign and just sized it up and hid it behind these bushes. And I think it looks real nice. It's like an entry sign. Okay, now we're at the point where I have no idea what happened to the footage that I recorded, but all I did was I added a gazebo, and I think what had happened was I was messing up so bad on it, and it looked so ugly that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pause this and come back to it. And then I forgot to come back to it, I guess. So I just added a gazebo, and that's the little art studio because Miss Cherry Love loves art. She is an aspiring artist and an aspiring writer, and she also loves her fair share of gardening. So I threw out these planter boxes and I threw some grass in some of them. Some of them I threw some shrubs. And then they have like these little seed pouches, and I just sized those up a bunch to look like maybe they're bags of dirt or fertilizer or something. So I think those looked really nice back there. But in the gazebo, and I'll show you later in the tour, but I just put like some canvases, a chair, an easel, and I think there's a telescope back there too. But the thing I love about the canvas stand is it already has paintings on it that like look like they've been worked on a little bit. So maybe Miss Cherry Love has already had her fair share of inspiration from this house and she started to paint it a little bit. And I thought it was a really nice touch. It's a very bright and beautiful backyard, and I left this nice archway because I think you might have saw it just a minute ago, but this leads into a park that I assume is for the community, so I thought leaving this open was a really nice touch. But I just started touching up the landscaping a little bit, adding some more paint. And it was at this point that I realized that this mud was a completely different thing than the dark brown that I've been using. I was wondering why it wasn't dark enough. So I just added that where I thought it needed to be, and just adding some more rocks, some sized up, some sized down, and then a little bit of terrain paint with some rocks in it. And I love this bog tree from the pond section because once I was at my grandmother's house and there was a storm and we were hiding in the bathtub in case there was a tornado, and you could literally hear the tree outside fall down. And then when we went out the next day, it was 2 feet from the house. So I thought it would be cute to add a little fallen branch and another little cherry tree up front because at this point I decided this was going to be for Miss Cherry Love, so she needed some cherry trees, of course. And I like to blend in the trees with some seriously I like to blend in the trees with some extra grass along the edges. It just makes it seem like it's been growing here for years. But yeah, that's basically the entire build. I just finished off with a cute little copper mold on the front of the house, which I think was so cute. And then next, I'm gonna hop into Create a Sim, and you're going to watch me create Miss Cherry Love herself. Bachelorette number one is a fiery redhead from a land of fantasy. She adores her coffee and her cigs anytime. Her hobbies include painting and harassing the mailman. Please welcome Miss Cherry Love. Ah, welcome, welcome, dear seeker of serenity. Behold this quaint studio cottage, nestled in a vibrant senior community where peace and beauty thrive. First, feast your eyes upon a wild wonder of overgrown flowers, bursting with color, creating a lush, private paradise just for you. Now step into the backyard, a grand garden, perfect for tending, relaxing, or simply enjoying the view. A tranquil spot to bask in nature's embrace. Step inside, and you'll find a cozy studio that feels surprisingly spacious with natural lights. Fuck. Every nook and cranny is thoughtfully designed, offering comfort, style, and endless possibilities, leaving you feeling fresh and peaceful. Miss Cherry Loves Cottage. Download today.